My name is Sienna Avery, and the first time I realized I had never truly belonged to my own family was the night I overheard my mother say she should just be grateful we took her in. I was 34 years old. 34, not 4, not 14. 34, and I was standing in the hallway outside my parents' dining room, holding a bottle of wine I'd brought for Sunday dinner, listening to my own life get rewritten like I was some charity case they'd sponsored out of pity. If you've ever had a moment where the floor didn't just drop, but cracked quietly beneath you, you'll understand what I mean. It wasn't dramatic. No shouting. No slammed doors. Just that awful, slow realization. Oh, that's who I am to them. I've always been the reliable one, the spreadsheet sister. The one who remembers birthdays, sends flowers, does the taxes, organizes the hospital paperwork. I'm a CPA in Omaha. Numbers make sense to me. People, not so much. Especially not my family. Margaret, my mother. Raymond, my uncle who raised me like a father. Dana and Bradley, my cousins who grew up in the same house and somehow always felt more real, more legitimate. Like they had roots in the floorboards and I was just a rug someone had rolled out for decoration. I was told my whole life that I was adopted after a difficult situation, that my biological mother had made mistakes, that I was lucky they stepped in, lucky they gave me a home, lucky I wasn't bounced through foster care. And you know what? I believed them. I built my entire personality around gratitude. I never asked for too much. Never got too loud, never expected the bigger slice of cake. I smiled. I helped. I earned my place. Or I thought I did. The Sunday I overheard that sentence, they didn't know I'd arrived early. I let myself in with the spare key. Margaret insisted I keep for emergencies. The house smelled like rosemary chicken and lemon cleaner, the kind of smell that's supposed to feel like comfort. I was halfway down the hall when I heard Dana laughing. "Mom, she still thinks she's equal to us," she said. And I actually froze. Like a cliché, my hand on the wall. Margaret sighed. Sienna's always been sensitive, but she needs to remember, she wasn't planned. We stepped up. That should count for something. Raymond chuckled. "She's family, Margaret." There was a pause. "Yes," she said carefully, "but not in the same way." Oh, I don't know how long I stood there. Long enough for my face to go hot. Long enough for something inside me to shift permanently. I walked in like I hadn't heard a thing. Smiled, kissed cheeks, poured wine, played my role, but I was watching them now. And when you work with numbers for a living, you learn something. Once you suspect something's off, you don't ignore it. You trace it. That's how I ended up finding the first crack. 3 weeks later, I was helping Raymond with some paperwork. He'd had a minor surgery and was foggy from medication. Bills were scattered across the dining table, bank statements half opened. Margaret was handling everything, but something about the balances made my stomach tighten. Transfers, large ones, repeated. I didn't say anything at first. I went home and lay awake staring at the ceiling. "You're imagining things, Sienna. Don't start drama." But that sentence from the hallway wouldn't leave me. Not in the same way. So I asked Raymond gently, "Do you mind if I organize your accounts? Just to make sure everything's clear?" He smiled at me. That soft, tired smile he'd always had. "You always were the responsible one." I took the papers home, and I found it. Over the past year, nearly $180,000 had been transferred out of his retirement account. Payments labeled as family support. Checks written to Dana, to Bradley. Even one directly into an account I recognized as Margaret's personal savings. No repayment schedules, no documentation. Just siphoning. My hands actually trembled, not because of the money, because of the pattern. It wasn't chaotic. It was methodical. Margaret had power of attorney after Raymond's surgery. I sat at my kitchen table, highlighter in hand, heart pounding. I wasn't the sensitive one anymore. I was the forensic accountant. The next Sunday, I didn't bring wine. I brought copies. We were all seated at the dining table. Same rosemary chicken, same lemon cleaner. I waited until plates were half empty. Until everyone was comfortable. "Raymond," I said gently, "can we talk about your accounts?" Margaret stiffened immediately. "This isn't the time." "It actually is," I replied, calm. Very calm. The kind of calm that unnerves people. I laid the statements on the table. Dana went pale first. Bradley stopped chewing. Margaret's voice sharpened. "You went through our finances?" "No," I said evenly. "I went through Raymond's." Silence. I slid one page forward. This transfer, $40,000, labeled family support. Dana, Was that for your new condo? Her mouth opened, closed. And this one, I continued. Bradley, the 35,000? The boat? Raymond looked confused. Boat? Margaret's chair scraped back. This is unbelievable. After everything we've done for you. There it was again. Done for you. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time I didn't feel small. I felt clear. I heard you, I said quietly. The room went still. In the hallway. A few weeks ago. About how I should be grateful. How I'm not family in the same way. Margaret's face drained of color. Raymond whispered, Sienna. You're right, I said. I'm not family in the same way, because I'm the only one at this table who didn't take a single dollar from him. Dana burst out, You think you're better than us? No, I said softly. Just different. I turned to Raymond. Did you approve these transfers? All of them? Do you remember signing off? He looked at Margaret, really looked at her, and in that moment, something cracked between them. The fallout wasn't explosive. It was slow. Lawyers, accountants, a formal review of the power of attorney. Raymond revoked it within a month. Some money was returned. Not all. There were tense holidays, long silences. Dana stopped speaking to me entirely. Bradley sent one text that said, Hope it was worth it. Was it? Here's the thing. No one tells you about standing up for yourself. It doesn't feel triumphant. It feels lonely. At first, but then something else happens. Raymond started coming over to my house for Sunday dinners instead. Just us sometimes. Sometimes with neighbors. Friends. People who weren't family in the same way. And one evening, after a glass of wine, he said quietly, Your mother, your real mother, would be proud of you. I blinked. My real mother? He nodded slowly. Caroline. My sister. That's when I learned the truth. I wasn't some anonymous adoption. I was blood. Caroline had died when I was 2. Margaret hadn't wanted to raise her sister-in-laws, but agreed, on the condition that it never be discussed. That I grow up grateful, not entitled, not equal. I went home that night and cried harder than I had in years. Not from sadness, from relief. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't too sensitive. I was a daughter all along. These days, I don't chase invitations. I don't set extra places at tables where I'm barely tolerated. I host my own dinners. I choose my own people. Raymond sits at the head of the table. There's laughter. Real laughter. Margaret and I speak rarely, cordially, distantly. She's never apologized. I stopped waiting for it. Because the truth is, the revenge wasn't exposing the money. It was refusing to carry their version of me anymore. If this story hits somewhere deep for you, if you've ever been the grateful one, the outsider, the one who earns love instead of receiving it, I see you. And maybe it's time you stop setting a place at their table and build your own. Subscribe to Her Untold Revenge for more stories like mine, and share this with someone who needs the reminder that belonging isn't something you beg for, it's something you choose.